Hey, welcome to Integrative Preparedness. I'm Steve Smith. Um, just before I got on here, I'm going to talk about a movie here in just a second that you ought to watch. But just before I got on here, I saw on the news that a guy's being held under armed guard at his house in Kentucky somewhere because he tested positive for COVID-19 and refused to self-isolate. So the police are outside his house saying you can't come out. And I don't know what the policies and protocols are if he does try to come out. Uh, but it is the next tread on the ladder in this situation. So here we have somebody under government control, whether he's at his house or whether he's in a secure hospital room or a jail cell or whatever. He is his ability to for free travel have now been negated. Um, we don't know what the next steps are going to be. It depends on the spread of this thing. It depends on people's reaction to it and the authorities' reaction to it. So it's just something to keep in constantly in mind and pay attention to. Um, I I know that there's a lot of people out there, and I've seen some comments. And I should say here again, there are people who have commented on my videos, both here and on Patreon, that I just checked, and I see that they were held up because of whatever reasons. They contained links or whatever, and I simply hadn't seen them. And as I've said before, I apologize for that. It's not that I'm ignoring your comments. But I don't get around to checking those things as often as I'd like. And so I just checked this morning and I went through a bunch and I approved them and put them up. And some of them do contain links. And I thank you very much. Some of these links are great. It's not at all that I disproved them or anything. So if you say, well, gee, I wonder why my link wasn't up there. Well, that's why. I just didn't see it and didn't get around to approving it yet. And there was one in particular, and you know who you are. You sent me one on that military program, the one that movie Men Who Stare at Goats was based on. Interesting stuff. I have some stories of in my own background back in the 70s and 80s that I might relay on that. I wasn't in the military program, but I did some of that stuff and interesting stuff. So thanks for sending that. And anybody who runs across that link, go ahead and watch it. It's well, I won't go any further, but thank you for the comments. And there were also a couple of comments that I have just disappeared into the ether somewhere. And it's not that I banned you or anything like that. I tried to approve them, and somehow it didn't get done. That's all right, man. So anyway, we're getting ready to go up skating here in a minute, and I just thought, okay, back to what I was saying. So there are some who are still, and I've noticed comments on here, who are questioning whether this is real or whether it's something to be concerned about. And I understand. We get hit with stuff all the time and say, worry about this today. Now worry about that. No, hey, I get it. And if you disagree with me on this stuff, that's fine, and I'm not necessarily saying, that you're going to turn out to be wrong. I'm just saying that, with what I have been able to research so far and the personal context, I put a lot more faith in the personal context that I have on this than I do on what I read because, a lot of what they put out there is just playing us. But I don't believe that in this case. One thing to keep in mind, Anthony Fauci, who's the director of the National Institute of Allergies and Infectious Diseases, came out with an estimation, and Fauci is one of the go-to guys, has been ever since forever. And a serious guy, a non-political guy. And he has said, as this thing grows, the fatalities in the hundreds of thousands is not impossible. So, in my mind, this thing is something to be taken extremely seriously. I remain unimpressed with the latest hospital protocols that I see. And so, be careful of everything. Anyway, what I was going to say is when I was talking to a bunch of my medical people, the ones who are tuned in, the ones who are taking this seriously, one of them mentioned the movie Contagion. Now, they did this, they mentioned this way back at the start. I had never seen it. I wasn't familiar with it. And they said that what's going on now with the COVID-19, just about exactly mirrors what is in this movie, Contagion, and it's amazing. So anyway, Kelly got it, and we watched it as a family last night, and it is good. It stars Matt Damon, but don't let that put you off too much, Um, but it is good, and it was put out in what year was that put out, hon? Like 11? 11. 2011. So if you want something to give you a sense of what can be developing with this, I highly recommend this movie, Contagion. I'm sure you can get it anywhere, right? So, anywho, looks like everybody's just about ready. We're going to go up and do some Nordic sports. What the tough people do who like to do things in the cold and ice and snow. It's not snowing around here. I wish it were. And we're going to have a good time. So happy. And also remember, today, President Trump has declared today the National Day of Prayer for regarding this COVID-19. So I'm sure that most of you will not forget to do about that. But we should keep in mind that every day is a day of prayer, and should be. Pray unceasingly in everything. Do so in prayer. And so God be with you and with all of us, and have a great day, and just continue doing everything that you know that you should, and don't let this freak you out, because after all, if we're prepared, we're prepared. Well, another thing that I will add, I was gonna add, nope, I'll stop it right there. I'll make another one later on. Okay, so you all have a good day, and remember that we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow. And since we're all prepared well, okay, let's live well and enjoy these days that God has given us. All right. You all have a good day. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.